Hello friends! Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today you'll be joining me on a live flip through of my March planner. I'll be going through all of my after the pen threads for March. I'll also talk a little bit about my planner setup so you guys can get a good idea for how my planner is set up now. Not too much has changed, but there has been some slight changes here and there that I thought I would discuss. And then you guys can ask me any questions you may have as you come in. If you think of anything that you want more clarification on, now is the time to do it, because now I can give you direct feedback on my setup and answer any questions you may have. So if that sounds good, let's go ahead and get started. Housekeeping ideas. So just let me know if you have any problems with the audio. As I'm speaking, I hear a plane going over, so I'm wondering if you guys are picking that up. But yeah, so just let me know in the chat if you have any problems hearing me, and also again, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. But also, if I don't address them in the video, leave them again in the comments of the video. And that way I can go back and look at it and directly answer you in the comments. So I think that covers everything. And yeah, I'm just going to let a few more seconds go by just in case there's some people late jumping on. Thank you for everybody who is joining me today. Again, if you have the ability, feel free to go ahead and drop in the chat, say hello, and let me know how your day's going. I see a good one in there. Let's see. You can hear me. Perfect. Thank you very much. And great. I'm glad you can join me. Planner Newbie Pro. Okay. So yeah, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started and just kind of periodically check the chat. Okay. So if you are a follower of my channel, you know that I plan in this giant Frankenplanner setup that is a Discbound setup. I have created my own DIY covers, and I've also done a lot of kind of customization in here, so we'll talk briefly about that as we do the flip through. I'm just going to check the chat again. I see some comments coming in. Yay, getting ready to plan your week. Yay. So glad you guys can join me. This is such a fun little, thing to have this planner community and be able to converse with people from all across the world and just have a nice chat about planning. That's pretty awesome, I think. Which friction pen is that? This one here is the 0.5 friction click. And then I also have a 4-color here in the back, which I will kind of discuss too, but both should be linked below in the description, I think. If not, let me know again in the comments and I can link those out for you. But I love both of these. They both erase, and I like having the 4-color options, as you'll see later in the video when we go into my hourly setup. Okay, so like I said, my planner setup is a Frankenplanner. I did DIY this cover just recently in my spring refresh, and I really love how it turned out. In that video, I had only done one lamination, so if you were curious to see how a double lamination came out, this is how it came out, and it's much more rigid, which I love. And then I also, so what I ended up doing was actually just cutting right along the seam of the original lamination and then re-laminating the entire thing. So that really worked out great and gave me that kind of rigidity that I wasn't getting with just the single lamination with the 5mm sheets. So I just wanted to bring that up in case you saw that video and were curious to know how things turned out. And I'm seeing some more in the chat, so let me just quickly check in. Do you have a tutorial on the pen holder attachment? I do, Joanna. There is a DIY pen loop video on my channel, I think from December 2022. So you can kind of go back or just look in the DIY playlist. You should be able to find it. Okay, yeah, so the video for this cover was, I thought, a really good one. I really love the aesthetic of this kind of sophisticated but springy with the florals. So I really love this. So I laminated the sheet with some vellum, and then I also added this dashboard, which is a freebie in the description of that video. So if you are interested in learning how I did it and downloading it for free, go check that video out. Spring Refresh. It was just maybe like 2 weeks ago or so. Let's see, did you use 3 mil or 5 mil? I used 5 mil double on that insert, or on that cover, which I explained in the video as well. Okay, so next we have my next DIY project that I did fairly recently. This is my sticky dash, which actually has a laminated pocket, which I really love, and then a flap. I just took out the stickers I was holding in here because I used them for my goal setup. I had these guys kind of tucked in here so that I would remember to use them for my goals. But yeah, so it's got this flap here, which is nice for smaller items, but like if you wanted to have a large, reusable sheet or something, you have this nice large pocket that you could also put stickers or, like I said, something that you want to look at maybe on a repetitive basis, but want protected. So I really love this dashboard. Again, DIY on my channel if you are interested. Laminating sheets have been super awesome and fun to work with this year. And then I have my pen loop holder, which again, I do have a DIY video on, which holds my friction pen, since there's been some questions about my pen and pen loops. So yeah, I have videos pretty much on all of these little DIY projects that I do. And if I don't, I'll let you know and you can ask me specific questions. I like that double pocket dashboard. Yes, it's a really good one. I was really excited. Look up Sticky Dash plus pockets. That will get you there. Sticky Dash is, I think, what I first called it, but with pocket. Okay, I feel like I'm talking really fast, so I need to slow down so I don't get out of breath. You guys know, my respiratory system is not the best. All right, and let's get things all straightened out here too. We're all off center. We have my sections next in my planner. So I've divided up my planner into 6 individual sections. I have my inbox, which is based on the GTD Getting Things Done method by David Allen. I have my goals section, which I've done a lot of DIY videos recently on that as well, if you're interested in those inserts. I have my productivity section, which houses some other DIY projects. And then my schedules, which is where we're going to remain most of today, talking about what I did back through March. And then finally, my reference section in the back, which is like my long-term storage of things, that has its own separate kind of dashboard setup, which I'll briefly discuss as well when we get back there. And then my notes section, which is just note paper. Okay, and so we start off with my inbox section. I made these dividers early on in my planner setup. They are not available in my shop, but I have had some small interest in it. So if that's something you're interested in, I may be able to add these to my shop in the future. It's just good to know if there's people interested. It kind of pushes me along if I'm going to bring something new to the shop. So I have this inbox dashboard that I created, and then this Getting Things Done insert, which is in my shop currently. And I use that to basically just track all the inbox things, like as they come up, you write them down, and then you categorize them using the Getting Things Done method. There is a video on that if you are interested in knowing more about the whole method and everything. Just check it out on my channel. I have done a video on it. And you can also just check my shop if you are interested in this insert in particular. So yeah, so I have that, and I check it. Yeah, I check it once in a while. I wouldn't say I check it weekly, but maybe like bi-weekly. I tend to use this more for things that are like, that I can put off for quite a while, but I don't want to forget about, more like a brain dump style. And that's been working out better for me than trying to like manage all my tasks through this system. So just a heads up on that, but it is great because I can look back and say, oh yeah, I wanted to do this and that, weeks later. And then I can also kind of plan out how I'm going to tackle those tasks. So these are the pages I ended up printing out for this section, and it's been working out, like I said, pretty great for me. Next we have my goal section, which I've been doing a lot of work in this year. Again, another dashboard, start things off. And then I did do all of the pages in here. I DIY'd them, custom made them. My word of the year, joy. I do check this fairly regularly, at least every, I would say, 2 2 weeks or so. I get more into detail as we go through, but you'll know more about it as, you know, my process. But I do come back and look at this fairly frequently, so it's nice that it's pretty and nice to look at. So this is my vision board and my Q1 goals, which I just updated for Q2. And I really love this setup. Again, it's just nice to have it all in one place and in a fairly easy to manage system. I also have my Q2 goals, which I recently set up, as well as my Q1 review, again, in a recent video. And the rest of the pages are ready to go for Q3 and Q4. And next we get into my productivity section. So this section I set up mainly to kind of house the tools I use to keep me on track. So I have my Kanban board, I think I said that right this time, which I use to set up my Q1 goal of my portfolio, which is kind of dragged into Q2, but I'm still utilizing this. I have some sticky notes here, and then you use those to kind of track your progress in the inside as you go across. So if you want to know more about this, there is a video on that as well. Just look up Kanban board and you should find out more about it. Again, on my channel. Let's see. So we have my monthly cleaning schedule here. This one I have not updated at all since February. I just kind of put it on the pay no mind list because I was kind of sick and just not feeling it, so I was just cleaning when I could. But I did do a massive spring cleaning before some family came over. You know how that goes, you guys. When you've got guests, you gotta quickly do all the things. So I did do a massive cleaning in March, but I didn't track it at all. I need to actually probably update this for April and get this refreshed. But it is laminated so that I can refresh it just by using some alcohol to remove a Sharpie pen, and then I can recheck it. So it's really good. Again, something that I have DIY'd and have on my channel if you want to see how I set that up. And then, yeah, on the back I have my spring cleaning. This is kind of like the annual tasks to do around the house, which is simple, but I love the look of it. So it does help me kind of come back to this and look at it, and maybe helps influence me to do some things. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, have gotten some progress done in that department. Okay, so that's kind of the front of my planner, those sections, but now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of today, which is my schedule section. And at the front, I keep my yearly future log. So this is an insert from my shop. I have the year at a glance for 2022 and 23, and then my future log set up. So this is a separate yearly planner that I offer in my shop in case you like something different than the perpetual calendar. I found this to be so helpful in future planning in a Frankenplanner because of only carrying 1 or 2 months at a time. Back here makes it hard for you to, you know, put in dates way in advance. So I really love this method. And then I created a color key to help me, you know, kind of research what is going on as far as, I can't even speak. Connect is the word I was looking for, the two colors together on the list sheet versus on the month, so I can see at a glance what's coming up and then drill down into the minutia here below. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, I have that in here. Again, I do have a video on that from earlier in the year if you want to know more about that whole process. And yeah, future log, there you go. So now we're going to get into the first planner. So this is the first part of really the flip through for March, and that is my faith planner. So really quick, in case, again, you're new to my channel, the way that I organize my planner, I kind of do this whole section in the way that I flip through it through the morning time when I'm doing my planner kind of moment in the morning. So I basically skip right to this section. I open up my planner to here and go to my first tab, and then I just work my way back through these top tabs until I hit all of the pages that I need to hit for the day, and then I'm done. So I don't flip through all these pages. This is a lot to go through. This just kind of gets me right to what I need to address each day in each planner, and that system has worked for me. The first tab is my monthly in each of my planners. Then I have my overview page, which is new this year, but has been working out pretty well. as my middle tab. My third tab here is my weeklies, and then if there's a fourth tab, it's usually something at the back of the planner that I need to address as well. Okay, so that said, let's go ahead and look at how March turned out in my Faith Planner. This insert again is from my shop. This is the monthly layout, and then when you get to the weeklies, you'll see it is the Quadrant layout from my shop. I really have been enjoying my monthly setups this year. Specifically in my Faith Planner, doing this little tidbit of what I read. So my normal routine is to do, excuse me guys, my normal routine in the morning is to do a daily reading of the Bible, which I go through the Bible once a year. So I just do whatever the passages are for the day. I also will do a verse of the day lettering, which will be in the weekly section. I write this little tidbit here, which is what I call the takeaway, or basically a brief snippet from the reading that I can take away for the day to dwell on and to apply to my life. And then I do my morning prayer. So I have all of that in my Faith Planner, and that's pretty much how I have it set up. So this is my takeaway section, and my daily reading is at the bottom, so you can kind of see the passages I'm reading each day. The theme was really fun to set up. I used some florals and some ink mixed media techniques here with some washi tape, and just loved how this one turned out. Kind of, I don't know, it's pretty, but it's also got a little bit of a moody feel to it, which I really loved. So this spread is new to my shop this year. It is what I'm calling the Faith Overview spread. I offer it in an undated format, so you guys can, buy it and then use it at will, so that you're not tied to any dates. And basically I set it up very similar to what you're seeing here. We've got some habit trackers, which I use to track those 4 things I mentioned earlier: my prayer, my reading, summary, and lettering. I keep my prayer list here, which this header exists there on the printable. I also have this month area, which is like a currently section of like prompts for you to talk about your spiritual journey throughout the month. And then I have just some empty space for you to do decor or whatever else you feel the need to have on this overview spread for the month. So this is how it turned out. I really loved this spread. I decided to use the 2 pens that I was using for the month, the Tombow dual tip pens, these here, to color in the circles this month. Previous month I was just using my black friction pen, but I like the markers better, so I'll probably continue doing that. And yeah, everything else was pretty much how I've been doing it so far, nothing new. I really liked this theme a lot, so I've been enjoying the overview pages a lot. So here's my first week in my Faith Planner, and this one I again thought was pretty good. These like really deep dark yellow, almost like a mustard, but even darker I would say than a mustard yellow with the green, I thought was a good mix of colors tying into the decor, and were easy to work with as far as bringing out text. So it was fun. I do, like I said, do a verse of the day here on the weekly. So this is my way of marrying lettering and Bible study together. So I don't have a lot of time, so doing drills or learning lettering in the traditional way just wasn't working for me. But I did have a goal of being more spiritually, in tune and just spending more time in the Word. So this is my way of combining those two. I've been doing that for quite a while, and it has really kind of progressed to what you see here. It didn't start off this way, but I'm so happy with the way it is now. I'm just going to bounce in here. I see a note on the chat about what Tombow colors I had here. So I have the 026 for the yellow and 158 for the green. So yeah, so those are the 2 colors that I used throughout the month, just again to tie in the decor. All of the decor is the same theme each month for my faith. It just makes it a lot easier for me to have everything set up ahead of time, and I don't have to think about designing spreads every week. I have a lot of planners, so this is a really great way for me to kind of simplify things but still keep things looking good. So yeah, all the decor will be the same. And if you want to know more about just like how I go about lettering and how I've, started lettering and progressed, I do have 2 lettering videos out on my channel, one from last month and then one from February before then, talking about 2 aspects of it. I will be coming out with one more, at least, maybe 2 in the future, just kind of discussing a little bit more about my routine, but those ones should get you started if you are completely new and just want some direction or some help with how to start lettering. Again, sorry, I keep coughing. Okay, so again, this is how the first week turned out. And here is the second week. And as you can see, I alternate the colors every day. I also alternate them each week. So Monday from the previous week, we'll start with green, and then I go yellow, and then green, and then yellow as we go through, just so that the colors kind of get mixed up nicely. I use an app called YouVersion to grab the verse of the day and also to do all of my Bible reading. It is called the Bible app, but the company was originally called YouVersion. So if you have access to an app on your phone, that's what you'd want to be looking for if you wanted to use that same app. It's just nice. I don't have to, go and looking for verses. There's a really loud car that's about to go by. I don't need to go looking for verses. They're all ready to go in there, so I can just grab them and interpret what I see there through the lettering. So again, this is the second week, and it turned out pretty good, I think. The third week here, I do like to mix in doodles every so often. Sometimes I focus more on highlighting certain words that I feel like are the core of the verse. So that's one way I go about it. The other way too is to be a little more literal, actually show visuals through doodles. And then sometimes I'm just focused in on, the positioning of words and stuff. So there's a lot of different ways you can interpret things. And I just, it just depends on the day and the verse how I want to go about it. I'm also, somewhat limited by space, so I keep that in mind as I'm designing the setup for each day. And here is I think this is the last week. No, we got one more. So here is this week. This one was actually one of my favorites of the month. It turned out really good. Kind of reminded me of some lettering I used to do as a kid. I can't talk today. And I just liked how that one turned out. But again, just a mix of different things. Sometimes my hand in lettering do what I tell it to do, and sometimes, like with the brush lettering, it's just not as good. So I have good days and bad. My muscle memory's okay, but I definitely still could use some more practice as far as thick, thin strokes and smoothing things out. But again, this is just a good way to fit it into my busy schedule. So if that's something you're looking for, highly recommend this kind of approach. And then here is the last week. I actually just finished this one up this morning. This week went into today. So you're going to see throughout most of my planners, I'll still be working in the last week of the month. This one I'm done with, but my daily I'm still in, and health and what have you will still be kind of active. But yeah, so this was the final one. Again, really happy with this one and how it turned out as well. So here's the back. I went ahead and decorated it, but I haven't been using it for the whole 2023, but I do have plans to use it in April. I have it set up to do a gratitude, so we'll see how that all turns out next month. Okay, so that said, I like to take things out at this point and put them in their individual planners. I already have April in here since April's already started. And here is my faith planner and where everything lives. It's just a hodgepodge of different elements. I have discs, metal discs from the Happy Planner, this cover from a Happy Notes. I have some old dividers from an older Happy Planner, faith planner. And I just use that to help me organize things as I go through the year. And then at the end of the year, I probably just will remove those dividers since they don't really serve a purpose after that, and kind of helps condense things down. So March lives in here. I also have some things in the back, some like Bible study guides, notes, things like that I used in the past. Let's see if I can get to it. yeah, just some different things that I've had in here for forever. I actually haven't been really referencing it that much, but it is good to have it. It's like my long-term storage of all my faith stuff. So that's my faith planner. If you have any questions on that, go ahead and drop those in the chat now before we move on to the next planner, which will be my health planner. And I'll go ahead and skip ahead here. Oh, what's the paper weight that I settled on? So I had two types of paper. In the past, I've always used HP Premium 32 paper, which is the one I recommend back then and now. I did try Hammermill 32-pound paper at the beginning of the year, but it was just not, the quality was not good. So the one I recommend is HP Premium 32, and most of these things that are in my planner setup, things like paper, will be found in the description of the video. So if you are wanting to know exactly which one, it should be linked below. So yes, I don't recommend the Hammermill paper. There was a lot of bleed through. It just was a little bit more yellow. It just wasn't as good. The HP Premium 32 is definitely the way to go for an affordable printer paper that's a little bit thicker, great for double-sided printing, but just, you know, and doesn't bleed through. It does well with most pens. All right, let's jump ahead here to my health planner. So as you can see, I have the gratitude set up there for faith, and we are moving on to the next insert from my shop, which is going to be, again, a monthly and a lined vertical layout for my health planner. So here is how I decided to set up my health planner last month. I just keep this really simple. I don't do plan with me's on it just because, again, I have a lot to set up, so I just did something simple. Some pastel diagonal washi just thrown in there with a couple of quotes. I've been using this year so far for tracking my workouts for the entire month. It's been going meh. I like seeing it like this though, in this format, so I don't know if I'm going to change it. I don't really have a good alternative at this point on what I would do instead. So I'll probably just keep doing that. Maybe I'll add in my steps as well, just to see that again through the whole month and just see, you know, what days I'm really pushing myself and which days I'm just getting lazy. But you can kind of see anything that's highlighted, that's my workouts and what I do. So I know that, you know, I can see at a glance how many workouts I did this month. I also can see the days that I skipped and why. I tried to put a little note if there was something in particular that caused me to skip. Sometimes I'm just lazy. Sometimes I have, you know, back pain, or I have, you know, some kind of allergy issue or something. It's just not working out. So I do like to know what is keeping me from achieving my goals of working out so that I can make adjustments in the future. I also did attempt to do some 21-day fix workouts. I am currently kind of working around a shoulder issue in both shoulders. I have frozen shoulder in both shoulders, which makes it pretty much impossible for me to lift things above my head at this point, and my arms are pretty weak. So I'm trying to do a little bit of upper body, but focus more on my lower body when I do any strength training. And I tried a couple of different ways to do it and ended up doing a mix of cardio and strength training together in some of these pre-done programs, these lower fix programs that I've had from way back. And that was working out, sort of, but it's hard. The workout is hard, so gearing myself up to do it sometimes is a little bit difficult. But I'm trying. So anyway, it's just good to see it all at a glance, and that's how I'm using my monthly. And then in between, I've stuck in, again, something new to my shop. This is what I call my health overview layout. It's been really nice to kind of have a dashboard of things to look at as far as how my health is going for each month. I've been using this for goals, but honestly, not really. It's just some reminders of goals of things I want to start doing. I have my habit tracker here, which this month I wasn't doing very good with entering in my food into my program on my phone so I could get the total calories and the protein. So a lot of the days it was just either guessing or I just didn't mark it down, and I have no idea if I got under my calorie goal or my protein goal. Closed rings, that's from my Apple Watch. That just kind of shows me I've put an effort to move and exercise and stand up every hour. So if you close all your rings, you get it's like you met your goals for the day. So I do like to track that. And then I also, of course, like to track my steps, even though, again, I'm not very good at reaching my goal, at least lately. I use the same theme, again, kind of like a monthly theme for this page as well, so I don't have to think too hard, and a couple of quotes. Over here, just some task items maybe for the month that are health related that I wanted to remember. And then over here, I have my health overview. So what I do is, because my Apple Watch basically has all this data, I like to look over the main items that I track in my stats and see what my monthly totals are, my daily averages, and if it was up or down from the previous month. So this directly relates to my weekly tracking as well, and all of this is available, again, set up in my shop. I also have how I was successful, basically like a health review of the month, what didn't go well, what could I do differently, and just some questions for me to really evaluate the month and see how I can improve going forward. Behind these black Post-it notes is my weight and measurements from the beginning of the month. So I just kind of have that here, and then each month I can review and compare between the months. And again, this is in my shop if that's something you're interested in, but this has been working out pretty well, I will say. So here is my first weekly layout for the month, and I mentioned before, I am using the lined vertical layout from my shop, very similar to the Happy Planner vertical layout, if you are familiar with that. I like that it's lined. It makes things look a lot neater and cleaner. I just did some simple stickers here with a little bit of hand-drawn texture with the black dots, kind of mimicking what was already on the stickers. And I did a rainbow. Rainbows always go over pretty well. I track my workout and my stats like I mentioned before. So these are my daily stats, and then my food log, which you can see I tracked 1 day of calories and the rest I just didn't feel like entering in my phone. So that happens sometimes. I also added this hydration tracker to the insert, so it doesn't come with this hydration tracker. I do feel like I need to mention that because somebody thought it was an automatic thing. This is a customization that I added to it. But if there's anything in my shop that you like, but maybe want to tweak or change things up, just reach out to me. I do customizations, and I'll be happy to give you a quote. Just check with me on Etsy. I think I've said Etsy a couple of times already in this video. Etsy. Okay, so this is how the first week was. Here's my second week. Really like how this one turned out. I don't remember if I did a video plan with me on that. I know I didn't do it, I don't think, on this one. And I'm pretty sure I didn't do it on this one either. Just went for a nice long box. I kind of extended the box. This sticker pack came from, these are pressed florals, and I think this one is indigo, not indigo, indigo blooms? What is it? I think maybe it is indigo blooms. It starts with an I think. But anyway, it's a new one. And there's a it's by one of the art. Okay, I gotta look it up. Sorry, you guys, it's gonna bug me. Ingrid blooms. Yeah, because it was with a specialty collab with a small artist, a small business artist. So Ingrid blooms with that, and then, like I said, the pressed floral sticker book. And kept it pretty simple, just all in the blues. I think this one turned out pretty good. Again, tracking all the same things. There's really nothing else to talk about as far as what's on the page. Always track the same things, but just in a interesting way each week. And then here is how this one was a plannable challenge. This one was the pie or pints theme. So 3/14 is Pi Day, because that's the beginning of the number pi. So we decided to give you guys some options if you wanted to do that. There's also St. Patty's Day, which is where the pints came in. and then pie. You could do also pie. So I decided to do pie because I had no stickers for the mathematical pie. And I actually love how this turned out. The color scheme was different, but the combination of the blue and the tan, I just really liked the aesthetic of this one. So turned out really good. I don't think I did a, maybe I did. I can't remember if I did a plan with me on this or not. But if you want to know anything that is on here that maybe I didn't do a plan with me on, just again, drop that in the comments and I'll do my best to get you the information. But this is how it turned out. Really liked it a lot. And then we have this one, which was another Plantable Challenge theme of colorful crafts. It is National, or it was National Craft Month for March, so we did that theme, and I had an old, not an old, but an older teacher's sticker book, which had these really cute kind of crafty looking things that I thought would be good as like a rainbow crafty theme. So this one really turned out nice. I liked the colors. The bright colors are always fun, and rainbow, can't go wrong with rainbow. So again, another one that I really enjoyed. And here is where we are now, and again, I have my dashboard in here for the week because I still will need to fill this page out tomorrow when the day is done. This one was, what was this? I'm thinking fun, something fun. Oh, fooling around. That's it. So this was again a Plantable Challenge theme, fooling around. I had a bunch of what do you call these? Icons, not icons, emojis. Yes, must think but cannot. Emojis with some fun quote stickers and some confetti. Hand drew in, again, some texture confetti here with the markers just to kind of drive that fun idea home. Again, a rainbow spread. So a good one. And that is it. I did add a little bit of decor here on my back page where I keep track of my meds and supplements. For my meds and supplements, I like to break out this habit tracker, which is available in my shop. It says habit tracker in my shop, but again, this is an example of how I could customize something for you. The tracker is basically exactly the same. It just changed from habits here to meds and supplements, and then meds and supplements here. But it's still the same as far as the habit tracker is concerned. So I put this on the back of my health planner, and I use that to track my meds. And these are my supplements. And then below, I started adding this year my like symptoms, or just some things that I wanted to track that I was doing before on my monthly, and felt like it would be better served here in this kind of chart format. So that's how I've been using it this year, and it's been working out really well. So you can kind of get a glance and see how that all looks. Let's see, do I sell these stat stickers in my shop? No, it's something I want to add, but everybody has a little bit of different, want something a little bit different for their stats, whether they just want the black or they want certain prompts that aren't the same on different watches and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep them in my shop, but make them easy and available for a majority of people. But again, I do have them, so if it's something that you want, you can just reach out to me on Etsy. I could quote you a price, and you can give me the details on how you want it set up, and we can take it from there. So that is definitely a possibility. Okay, so let's go ahead and move out all of, oh wait, I can't move out health yet. All right, I'll move out nothing. So that's it. But this is my health planner, so you guys can see that. And after tomorrow, I'll end up moving out all of March into here. Again, very hodgepodge setup for this planner since I'm only in it once a month. It's just a way for me to store those items after I'm done with them. So that's my health planner. But again, I'm not quite ready to move things out yet. Wah, wah on that. Okay, let's get everything reset, and we will move on to my next planner, which is my, what I call my daily planner, but basically my catch-all planner. And I have to jump to it here, yeah. And I actually have this little cheat sheet I made a long time ago. I'll just, in case there's any questions on it. I used to do 21-day fix, occasionally the diet and the workouts. So I made this cheat sheet a while back, and I just store it in my recipe planner for when I come back to it. It's a nice little way to reference certain things that I should be eating, and I'm hoping that it will help keep me on track this month as far as portion control and eating whole foods versus processed foods, which is one of my goals. So I have that in there. But yes, so now we're moving on, like I said, to what I call my daily planner. And again, this is going to be a printable from my shop. Was that the blue teal markers on your Ingrid stats? Joanna, can you clarify a little bit what you meant by the stats? The blue, oh, you're talking maybe here? No. Yeah, you'll have to clarify what you mean, Joanna, on your question on the blue and teal markers. Okay. Oh, was it teal markers, or I see what you're saying. No, those are stickers. So all of my stats were stickers. They're colored with stickers. Okay, yeah, back to, what was I saying? Lost my train of thought there, guys. Okay, here we go. March. Daily planner. So what I do for my daily planner is set up all of the monthlies together again, like the monthly pages together in one theme. Very similar to my faith, except for the weeks I do individually. But the monthly pages I like to keep in one theme, and I do a setup video plan with me each month for that. So for March, I ended up doing this kind of like rainy day blue floral theme, which I just really loved. It turned out really good. I have some really subtle raindrops in here that I used Tombow markers for. I've got this really cool washi from Daiso that can be water or waves or just anything you really want it to be. I like it as clouds, as you can see here. And then just kind of mixed in some different washi and purple tones, and it just all came together really nice. So for my monthly this year, I've just been using it as a traditional monthly, keeping track of events and appointments. And then I've also been adding in just little highlights throughout the month of things that are happening, just so I can keep track of those. In the what do you call this? The sidebar, I have the books that I read for the month, and then also the TV that I was watching. And that's been really nice just to go back, especially when I talk about programs and things with friends, and I'll be like, oh yeah, did you see? And then I can never remember. So it's nice to have it written down and know what I was watching during that time frame. So this is how it turned out. Again, really like this setup. And then this I finally ended up adding to my shop in a little bit more of a stripped down version. So again, like the health and the faith, I did create a month overview is what I'm calling this one. So I've stripped out anything that's about the social in particular, but there is a monthly kind of blank slate here that you can use, plus some lined areas for whatever else you want down here. And then it's got the habit trackers, the extra long checklist, and some open space up here. So it's really a nice way to track monthly things at a glance, especially if it's not like real detailed monthly things, but maybe like appointments or just things you want to see the whole month real quick. It's a nice setup. And the way I've been using it is for my social stats. So that's the customization I basically did for myself, adding in, just the social stats header, and then some details that I like to track for my own social media presence. And then I track my, followers and subscribers for YouTube and Instagram. So I have that there. I have over here some habits. This is kind of like my more personal stuff. This is more my social stuff. So over here I have like just some habits I want to keep going, like going outside and AM, PM skincare, audio or book reading time, and then stretching for my physical therapy and my shoulders. I also have, again, like this checklist. So this is a really great place to put like monthly tasks. So instead of doing my inbox, if there's something I know I need to get done within the month time frame, I've been using this, and that's really been working out nicely. So I'm always in this spread each day because there's always a dashboard here. So I flip to it and I see that, versus like the inbox again is more like things that can be put off, but I don't want to forget about. So that's how I've been using it. It's been working out really good. And yeah, so again, and then in the same theme. Here is the first week of the month. This one was a plannable challenge, and I don't remember. Let's see. This was Go Wild week. So we did a wildlife theme, and I did not go wild, but I thought it would be fun to do a wildlife theme since I don't normally gravitate towards those stickers. So did kind of like a safari look, and I really liked it actually. I thought it turned out really good. This washi tape is, I think, what sold it, and I got that from the washi tape shop. I think these stickers were mainly all Happy Planner stickers from one of the color storybooks, and again, I just kind of color matched it in the highlighters to do my checklists. So again, if you're new to my channel, you might not be familiar with how I plan in my horizontal layout, but basically I like to divide each day up into thirds when I can. So usually it's like checklists is 1/3, decor would be 1/3, and then like what I call focus boxes or highlights for the day normally. So there isn't a lot of focus boxes here, but here's a good example of like a traditional day. I've got a focus area, focus box, I've got some decor, and then I've got my checklist. So you can get kind of creative with it, but that's basically how I set up pretty much all of my horizontal layouts. And that works really well for me functionally because I always know I have space for my checklist and my focus boxes as I'm designing the spread. So again, this is how it turned out, and I really do like how this one, came out all together. This one here was also for a plannable challenge. Spring Forward, I think was the theme. Yeah, so this was for the Spring Forward plannable challenge theme, and I did it with some clocks because we in the United States had our daylight savings time begin on this Sunday. So I mixed that in with some spring florals. These are actually some older watercolor florals from the Happy Planner, and they turned out, or these were some of my favorite back in the day. So they were fun to kind of bring back and tie in with the clocks and make it a little bit more, I don't know, nostalgic, I guess. I did it pretty organized as far as functional layout. I have all of my checklists here in line with my focuses on the outside, and that worked out pretty good for the most part. This one here I did for the St. Patty's Day. So since I did a pie theme on my health, decided to do more of a seasonal St. Patty's Day theme here. And I don't really celebrate any of these holidays, but it's just fun. You always have these stickers, so I do try to use them and, make them apply to the dates when they are, you know what I mean? So this one here, I don't think I did a plan with me on, but I just did some clusters of stickers. I start to get like near the end of these videos, I start to get like where I can't think. So I did some clustering. I did my 3 clusters, added some gold. I added in just a little splatter of calligraphy ink, which I've been loving. You'll see, I think I did it again before the end of the month, and just added that little extra touch of texture, which I think turned out super cute. And then this was the next week. I think I just wanted to do something that was springy. I think this was the first day of spring. So I went into my books, and I had just recently got the Daydreamer sticker book from Catherine over at Planogram, and I never had it before. So it was just nice to have those stickers and kind of bring those back. It's been forever since anybody's been using those. So I brought those in with the color schemes with the blue, purple, and I don't know, this is kind of like a coral tone. So it was really fun, a little bit different color scheme, and just felt a little old school for me. If you've been with my channel for a while, you know this was a little bit more like how I used to design my spreads more often in the past with lots of the Happy Planner stickers from old. So I really liked being in this. It just gave me, those nostalgic feels. And then this is the week we're currently in. On this one, I decided to do a more vintagey theme. I really love the kind of eclectic collage look. This one I focused in more on like the postage style stickers that I had and some of the elements I got from Your Creative Studio in a box set that they had. Added in some stuff from the Stationery Pal and just really made a nice collagey look with this one. So lots of fun vintagey things to look at, which I really enjoy that as well. Again, currently in Sunday, so I'm not quite ready to move these guys out, but this is the way that the week has been going so far. And then on the back, again, kind of designed with that same monthly decor, I have my Memory a Day page, which is another single page monthly. This one's a little bit longer and wider, but allows me to just track one memory a day in the monthly format, which I really like. And I also add some highlights down below from the month just to have that there. So that was what I did for my daily, and really, really liked, again, this theme a lot. It was a good month, I think. So again, I can't really move it out, but this is my daily planner. So this is where it will go in a day or so, and I will put it on my shelf for another month. Okay, so finally we are into the last planner we're going to go through, which is my hourly. I'll just briefly go through this. This planner is from the Happy Planner. It is called Achieve Greatness. It was an 18-month planner from June or July 2022 into December 2023. So I just started using it this year, and the reason I picked it up is so that I can manage my goals a little better and schedule my time. So this was the overview monthly spread, and I've been using this for tracking and scheduling out my social media planning. I also keep track of the plannable challenges here on the sidebar. That way I know what I did each week. And that's been working out really well. So I have that. Here I have been setting up my kind of goal overview for the months. This has been just a really key thing for me to achieving my goals, reviewing my goals, working towards my goals. So if that's something you struggle with, I think having them as part of your system each day, not just in the, on a couple of pages in the front of your planner, really makes a difference. Yeah, I'm looking at this every day. I've been taking these monthly goals, which I set up in multiple videos. So if you want to see how I set up March, and I think I did the February goals as well, so you can just see my process. I set these goals up, and then I take them down, break them down into tasks for each week, and move those into my schedule. So it's a process that I've been doing for this year, and even though my goals have not been, completely achieved, I am seeing progress, and that was really key for me, because there's some really hard goals like this, completing my portfolio, which I was seeing zero progress for years, because just have a mental block on working on it. And finally, I feel like I've made some serious progress in that arena that has been really encouraging. Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel with that project. And then, just some other things I just want to, work into my system. It's just really nice to have it here. And then taking those goals, moving them into like task formats each week, and then moving them into my daily. So I do a nice setup here, not too complicated, just very simple. And then I take those elements and move it into my pretty much all pen scheduling setup. So this is just the way for me to time block, figure out like what I'm working on, when, try to identify wasted time and fill it with something productive. At the top, I've been using that just to track my social media posts. And then below that, I have like this kind of like, I would say this is like a priority section. Sorry. Here I have where, like my main goals that I want to work on for the day. and then my health goal, what I want to be working on for the day. So if I achieve it, it's nice to see when I'm checking things off. Here, I basically plan out my day, and I do some planning in advance, but I will go back through as the day goes by and adjust. So this is where my Friction 4-color pen really comes in handy. It is erasable. So like I said, I do some pre-planning. So maybe like Sunday night, I'll say, okay, what do I need to get done Monday, Tuesday, and maybe Wednesday if I think I can plan that far in advance. And then as I go through and let's say I didn't get something done, I would erase it and then make adjustments throughout the week. And that works out pretty good. And I use some color coding just to know when I'm working on specific things. Blue has been my goals on the weeks. The green has been my like break time or things that are more downtime oriented. Red is anything that's active that I need to be doing something physically moving, that kind of thing. And then the black is like more my routine things that I do that's like work related, but more routine items. And so that's how I've been using it. And it's, like I said, going pretty well. I still feel like I need to do some tweaking to do a little bit better job of time blocking, but again, it's been invaluable for me to work in my goals into my everyday and make that progress. So this is the first week, and here's how the second week turned out. Kind of changed up the colors, but otherwise, again, just all pen, very, very functional. And here's the next week. This one, I kind of got a little bit lazy in the weekend because I wasn't being very good with my time management, so I just kind of ignored it. And that's where I can see, I got to do better going forward. And then this was the time change too. And so my morning routine kept getting pushed back, and I had to start making adjustments. But yeah, everything else is pretty much the same, but I really have appreciated having this layout added to my planner so I can do a better job of managing my time. And here is the week that we're in right now. Not much has changed. I do have a layout change for April that I'm testing, and if all goes well, I'll be adding it to my shop. I was inspired by looking at the Common Planner, if you're familiar with that, or the Hobonichi Cousin, just the layouts and the way that people were using those weekly spreads. So I kind of created one of my own, which like I said, I'm going to test it out, see how it works, and then I'll show you guys next month in the flip through if it worked out for me, and then again, I will add it to my shop if it did. So, like I said, but it's very schedule based, and I do plan on using that going forward, just to again manage my time. And then on the back of this goals planner, I've been using the Currently page for my goals review. I did not film, I don't think, this goals review this time around, but I did do the one that I did back, I think maybe January going into February. So if you really want to walk through the process, but basically I just set up a couple of questions to review how my goals went for the month and then evaluate them and make adjustments going into the next month. Just have some highlights here for what's coming up so I can keep those in mind when I'm planning out my goals, and then any like important dates or things I need to remember that might hinder certain aspects of my goals not getting done. So this is again something that I've recently added just this year, this review process on the monthly, and again it's really been helpful. I'm not much of a journaler or somebody who does these types of reviews very often, but I can see the value in them now that I've incorporated them into my schedule in achieving my goals on the regular. So that said, that is my hourly. Again, this will be moved out into the planner. This is it here, the Achieve Greatness Planner from the Happy Planner. This is the cover. And like I said, I just started using it this week. So the first couple of months are empty, and then I started into January. So it'll move into here. And then I actually have my customized new setup already in here for April. Excuse me. So the last planner in here, which we won't go through, but I just will touch base on, is my finance or budget planner. I'm using a printable from Undated Co. this year with one extra kind of page I created that gives me a monthly overview, very similar to my like this shape as far as having a monthly overview. It did not include that in that planner, so I felt like I needed that. I felt like it was missing. So I just added one in so that I could track my bills as they come through in the month. But otherwise, I'm using the pages from that planner, and it's been working out really well. I do talk about those pages in my planner setup, so if you just kind of want to see what I'm using and how I plan to use it, you can check out that video. But otherwise, yeah, I just, the finances and stuff I don't share, but it's been a really good planner for me. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Okay, wrapping things up here, we go into the back of my planner. So these are the last two sections here in my catch-all Frankenplanner. I have the reference section. So at the bottom here, we have 4 tabs. I have my personal, business, social, and education tabs. These are where I'm just keeping track of things that I reference regularly and want to have on hand. So for my first section, I have this personal. This is where I keep basically, doctor's appointments, maybe things that have to do with the house or bills or things like that I want to have on hand. So I have that here, and I did do some new dashboards for this in that, was it Spring Refresh video? So I have those in there. Really love the florals, and those are all free images. So if you want to do the same, check out that video, check the description, and you'll find links to all of the photos that I use there. So that's my personal section. And here you can see I have a cleaning list, even though I don't really reference it, but it's just good to have it there. The next section is my business section. This is where I keep all the stuff related to Etsy and my freelance business. I do freelance graphic design, so I have notes and things like that in there, as well as insert ideas and things like that for Etsy. And again, I have this nice floral dashboard that I created for that. Next, we have my social area. This is like where I keep my YouTube video ideas, my content ideas, just things I need to reference for social. All that is in this section. And another nice spring floral close-up, which it just brings me joy when I come to this area. And then I have finally my education section, which is more like things that I'm learning, like photography tips, or I also have been taking classes in the fall, so I have some stuff about web design and just, things I want to remember that are more like teaching me something. So I'm just calling that my education section, and in there I have a lot of little notes and things. And again, a nice dashboard for that section as well. And then again, at the back, we have my notes section. And here, just some different note papers that I use to, track things, put in my reference, plan things out, some different styles, all from Happy Planner. And I also have this pocket folder, which I'm really not utilizing other than as a pen holder for my other DIY pen loop, and holding out my 4-color pen because I wanted to keep my dashboard clean. And there is some gunk on the back of my dashboard. It's probably coming off of this folder. But anyway, so then I have this, which again I created in my Spring Refresh for my back cover. And that's it. It's still really chunky. Hopefully I'll be able to alleviate some of that in a day or two. But yeah, so that's my full flip through of my March planner, all of the after the pens, as well as a bit of a look at my refreshed planner setup. I hope it is, I hope it was enjoyable. Did you want to say, where's the pretty spring bucket list? It is in my April monthly right now. So when I was going through my March, I had already moved it into April, but I will show you because I thought it looked really nice with that setup. So let me grab it. So yeah, so here's my spring bucket list. I did do a video on that as well. And like I said, I think it looks really nice with this month's theme. The purple and everything looks really good. But I'm using that to just add some fun to my life, do some things out of the norm. And yeah, I've already done a couple of things, so that's kind of nice. There's my spring bucket list. in case you were wondering. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys have any other thoughts or comments you want to drop in the chat, I'm here for you. Let me know. This is a good time to really get that personal service if you want any questions answered specifically. I really enjoy, conversing and answering any questions you guys may have, or helping you guys out with anything that you're struggling with in your planner setup. I've been doing it for a while. I mean, I'm obviously not 100% like professional, but I have been doing a lot of planning for a while. So anything that I have learned along the way, I'm so happy to share with you guys. And that is pretty much it. So let me get my throat in order. And thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. If you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up down below in the likes area. I would really appreciate it. Also, too, if you want to leave me a comment or just, ask any more questions or anything like that you think after the video, drop that in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, do think about subscribing. I do quite a bit of videos, especially a lot of DIYs and some things that are nice and custom, give away freebies. So there's lots here on the channel for you if you are interested in, just kind of growing your planner setup and learning some DIYs and organizational tips. So that's it, you friends. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye.